just won't die.
Heyo.
Hey, what is up,
Heyo.
everybody?
Heyo.
Jets Chaos live in the zone. As we say around here, man, second episode ever. Y'all have made it. Appreciate you guys. Got a couple in here already. Sunday night. Last week we had a somber inaugural episode. This one different, a lot different. Got the bye week.
A somber.
Um, I threw it on the thumbnail because I'm like, is this a good bye week for us, Jeremy? Or is this a good bye week for a few players on our roster?
I think there's a chance that we're going to see some movement. They showed with the trade of Michael Carter that we're definitely selling a little bit, but let's not go too crazy because what did we really sell? We sold the guy that we basically had already replaced.
100%. A guy that was underperforming. We sold for all intents and purposes, a bloated contract.
Yeah.
If you ask me, I mean, could he have recouped some of that, some of that ROI? Yes. But like, are you going to bet on that? I think let's just wipe our hands and move on.
We found somebody who's been playing really well for us. He made an impact from the days, put the uniform on. I mean, in 2027, we're going to have 2 6-round picks instead of a 6th and a 7th. And based on what happens between now and then, you never know. There might be something. You might take those 2 and combine it with a 5th. And the next thing you know, you're trading in the 4th and grabbing some guy that you really like. Who knows?
Yeah. Or you're taking the 12 million that we saved and you're spending that on a 1-year flyer on a guy who balls out. You never know, man.
Yeah.
You're using it to pay off a little bit of the Rodgers dead money next year, which is like twice that, maybe 3 times that, just to soften that blow. That's an option. Just want to take a minute because I do have a article I really want to get your thoughts on that I saw today, and it struck me, and I want to see if you've A, seen it, and B, if you haven't, or even if you have, your reaction to it. But before I do that, I just want to say, welcome, Charles. Charles is in here first. Amid, I see you down there, brother. Jets Worldwide, Snowball chimes in. He says, "Has Jeremy dropped the Russian accent yet?" Maybe that's an inside joke.
I did his whole show, the match game this morning, with a Russian accent like this. I talk like this the whole time.
Whole time.
Whole time. This is I eat borscht, and we celebrate, and we do talk Jets and play a game with Green Bean, and that's it.
Thank you, Vladimir. Speaking of Vladimir, how about them Blue Jays? Sorry, Boomtown.
It was close, man. That was as close as you could come to winning a game without winning it. That deep. I mean, the play at the plate where the foot came up and then came down. I mean, it must have been like 300ths of a second, right? And then the fly ball, they bang into each other. When have you ever seen 2 guys collide and make the catch?
No, you don't.
You ever seen that?
And I was only looking at the guy on the left, and he just got pummeled. And then I realized, whoa, dude came out of nowhere, and he said, "Give me that." Which I'm glad because the guy on the left was not looking too hot for catching that ball.
Right, and the guy and that center fielder was brought in for defensive purposes, literally that inning. So that's a manager managing a victory.
And I hate the Dodgers, hate them, but I love Ohtani, man. How can you not respect his game?
He's the greatest player of my lifetime. All-around baseball player. There's no question about it.
as that series went on, became a Dodgers fan, man. I just with Vlad and his like, I don't know. He was just getting too into it, and the double play he had early in Game 7, he was all peacocking around the place. I'm like, you know what? Let's go Dodgers. Fuck it, you
Yeah.
know.
I mean, Otani
um,
is. I don't. I mean, I do understand. I don't want to say it out loud. The reason why he's not getting. I think that this country might be having a little problem with the fact that there's certain sacred things, and you think Babe Ruth and Joe DiMaggio and Mickey Mantle and even Hank Aaron, Barry Bonds, and what do they have in common? These are all Americans, and then it's we always had this pride, best baseball in the world, but it turns out the greatest baseball player I think of this generation. I mean, all around baseball player. I just don't think you can argue it. I mean, the guy is a solid, like before his injury, and you got to give him a year like everybody else in Tommy John. They need a full year before you completely expect them to be back to their old self anyway. But a guy that looks like, but even in his recovery year, when people are usually bad, still had a decent ERA of 2.87, right? And he's also hitting 50 plus home runs and hitting over 300. And I've never seen anything like it. You know what? He's the most impressive athlete I've seen since Bo Jackson before the injury. Like, and I think a lot of people forget about Bo Jackson, who was an all-star outfielder for the Royals and a top NFL running back for the Raiders.
right. You wouldn't compare Otani to Travis Hunter, would you?
Travis Hunter, I don't know, man. Is he excelling in either? I mean, I don't know if he's excelling at either. That's the problem. You just trade
Yeah,
it up and use the number one pick on a guy. I don't care that he plays ball. I'd rather have a guy that is just amazing at his one position than a guy
facts.
that's kind of just okay at both.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm with you. I am 100% with you. But I think a lot of, well, at least my thing with the Otani thing, and I just want to briefly hit on this before we segue to the Jets. But for me, it has nothing to do with anything you mentioned, and I do get that a lot of people do hold like the sacredness of it, near and dear. For me, though, it's the deferred contract. I think that is so bush league. The dude is making like 40 million a year. He's only making 2 million a year now. And then in 2034, he'll get 38 million a year. Just
Right,
defer like
forever.
38 out of the 40 he's getting later, and
Well,
he's getting two
but
now. I'm
it
like,
should. I mean, that's up to the baseball to ban. Like
it
that,
is.
that's basically dodging any kind of luxury tax, like a salary cap of any kind, and that is not good because I think as much as we fans we get frustrated with salary caps in football and basketball, we want our team to have more cap, but you don't realize it makes it so much more competitive and so much better. Because what's going to
Facts.
happen is you're going to have the Dodgers, just like again in free agency. There's another big name coming from Japan, and you're going to have the Dodgers probably. They're going to pursue it, and there's like a good solid chance they're going to get him. So you have a team that won 2 World Series in a row that's still buying players, and that's just not good.
It's
That's
not.
just not good. There's there's,
That's the
there's
only
30 teams in Major League Baseball. I mean, you don't want to see the same 4 or 5 teams every year.
facts.
You know,
And that's the only thing I have with it. I love watching him play. He is just a joy to watch. If some of the things we mentioned keep you from enjoying his talent, then maybe it's shame on you. Maybe you need to just enjoy him from a fan to athlete perspective, like I've been doing. Um, yeah, he's special, man. And Yamamoto was epic too in that series, man. 3 wins in 7 games, like awesome.
yeah. I mean, they
So
may have. Let's hope they didn't ruin his career because
true.
they did the same thing the Dodgers with Hershiser. He was unhittable and they used him a lot. And then the next year, he was terrible. Like, and then he did surgery, and you're not supposed to throw the next day that many pitches. So let's just hope. Let's hope, knock on wood, because I would never wish bad on an athlete. So
I do. Shout out to him though, MVP. Will he pay for it later? We'll find out. But Good series. Good little bow on the sport as we have the NBA leaking in now, and
Little
it's
little
just
trivia, little trivia question. Do you know the only athlete ever that out of college was drafted by Major League Baseball, drafted by the NBA, and drafted by the NFL? All three.
all
Could have
three.
had his choice of any of the three sports.
It wasn't Dion, right?
It was not Dion because he was two sports. He was not drafted for basketball.
Basketball is what's going to trip me up. It wasn't Bo Jackson.
It wasn't Bo Jackson. I'll give you a hint. He played for the Yankees for a time, not originally. He was drafted in baseball by, this will probably give it away for some people that are older, by the Padres. So he was drafted by the Padres.
Yeah.
Played for the Yankees. I believe he played maybe for Toronto. Big guy, big, fast, power hitter. His name.
But he was drafted to the NBA too. That's what's tripping me. I can't see the chat,
Oh, I think
so I hope
Modine
I
knows.
okay.
Modine might know because he's saying his first name. So yeah,
Okay.
it
Yeah,
was his name was Dave Winfield.
Dave Winfield.
Dave
Okay.
Winfield.
Yeah.
He was the guy who replaced Reggie Jackson for the Yankees. Pretty much, they had
Uh,
1 year overlap in '81, and then Reggie was shipped off to count the Angels, and Dave Winfield was supposed to be the replacement for Reggie Jackson.
Interesting. Good nugget. Good nugget. We
I'm
learned
an old
something today,
man. I
folks.
remember a lot of stuff, especially about baseball. Especially
Awesome,
about
man.
baseball.
Chris B in the house, Stranger, Mackle, Barney, all in the house, man. Appreciate you guys chilling with us on a Sunday night. I am still catching up on the chat. You guys keep cooking. What I'm going to do, Jeremy, though, I'm going to bring up this article that I found that I really want to get your first. My first impression was one thing, just tripped me up, and I want to see if it trips you up as well. Let me see if I can screen share this guy. 1 second. Um, Screen share. All right. Let's see what we got here.
Jets and calls.
Okay, you can see this. All right, good. Yes, it says the Jets are off this weekend, and this is from Pro Football Talk. Their front office is working. Per a league source, the Jets are getting plenty of calls in advance of Tuesday's trade deadline. They do not, however, intend to have a fire sale. Most of the calls have focused on defensive lineman Michael Clemens, pass rusher Jermaine Johnson, running back Breece Hall. Both Clemens and Hall are in the final year of their contract. Johnson is signed through 2027 with the option next year, blah, blah, blah. But I think that's about the gist of the article that I needed to see. I want to get your thoughts on the first few paragraphs there. Does anything stand out to you or catch you off guard?
The thought of trading Jermaine Johnson, especially for what they're talking about as a price, is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. We have him for 2 years at good money. People say, "Oh, but it's a rebuild." So you got to have good players. Like, I don't understand. It's a rebuild. You got to have good players. Well, are we going to tolerate? What do we want to clean house and go and be 1-16 next year? Also, like, is that what we're talking about? We're not trying to get better. You got a position, man. You're telling me because people talked about third round, even second round. You're going to tell me that with a second round pick, you're going to draft a guy at edge to replace him? You're going to tell me that's equal value? I mean, we see teams draft edge in the first round and they don't become anything. They're busts. Like,
Yeah,
we
but
got
Jeremy,
just a really good football player here.
to play devil's advocate, though, like if the third round pass rusher that you would draft to replace him isn't as good as him, is it equal if he's, a little saturated version, but cheap versus Jermaine at 20 million? Talk to me there.
Well, Jermaine's not expensive through 2027. You see it right now. His fifth year in 27 is 13. So if you want, you could ride him out the 2 years. I wouldn't even do that. I would do the same kind of deal I made with Sauce and Garrett Wilson. I would keep him at this deal, but just extend him because he does have the injury history. I'm sure his agent would love it. I'm sure he would love to get some guaranteed money. And if you could get him for 20 million now, I mean, this guy, forget the sacks. Forget the sacks. He plays the position correctly. He's a leader. He's vocal. This is a guy you want on your team. You don't give him away for a third round pick or even a second. You don't do that. It's a tough position, man. Edge is not an easy position to fill. These are one of the positions you want to, when you rebuild, you want to have set. We got an edge that we know is decent because we know he could seal the edge, and that's important, right? Sealing the edge, right? So you get you get him locked in. You got your cornerback one locked in. You got your wide receiver one locked in. You got your tight end ones locked in. You got your offensive tackles, both of them locked in. This is when you do a rebuild, you want to have some good players locked in. He is not that expensive. He's not asking for 40 million. If he was asking for 40 million, yeah, I would say, you know what? Maybe you draft a guy and then you have money if you need to, to spend somewhere else. But that's not the case. He's not that expensive. It doesn't make sense. We should not be looking to shop Jermaine Johnson.
No,
in any shape or form.
And I will say, I do believe the spin on this article is that these are who people are calling for. So,
right, which is fine. We should pick up the phone and listen. It's fine.
But okay, let's get past Jermaine though. It makes sense that people are calling for Jermaine. What do you think of the prospects of other teams around the league calling for the other two mentioned?
Well, I think we are very hard on Michael Clemens, and I actually put on Twitter an amazing rep by Michael Clemens. I don't think he's that good, but I could see why because of how strong he is and everything. That other people have this Aaron Glenn distortion also, right? They see this big, strong guy who could move, and everybody believes I could fix it. I could fix it. I could coach him. I could fix it. I could fix it. We've seen Clemens in two different systems now. You're not fixing it. He's just not a smart player. He just doesn't have instincts. His instincts are bad. He gets fooled. He overcommits. He overpursues. He basically leaves his lane. That's the problem. So many times we've gotten burned because he's not where he's supposed to be. That's why Jermaine Johnson, I say, even if he doesn't get double-digit sacks, people need to understand he's where he needs to be. He seals the edge. Michael Clemens does not seal the edge. So, but I think we don't know what they're asking. They might be calling because he's worth a 6th round, 7th round swap thing because you absolutely need somebody. And he has years of experience. He can play every down, and there might be people who just think he's going to help their team with depth at a very difficult position to fill.
Yeah. You know what? You are a tick higher on Clemens than I am. I do think that this is the best I've seen him play ever. The last month or so, I think it's the best I've seen him play ever. The only question I have is the scheme better for him, or does the scheme is the situation better for him, or is the situation better at elevating Jags? It'd be nice to get a few other guys in the same situation to see, if they play better. Obviously, it's going to depend on what Glenn thinks and Wilkes on Clemens. Is he the best we have, or is he the best that we can get? It's a lot of things. He was deemed worthy of $3.5 million this year. I'll tell you that. So they think something. I do find it interesting that other teams are calling for him because I do wonder what, I don't know. Man. Is it Sulla? Is it Ulbrich? Is it Douglas? Is it someone else? Is it White Cotton in Dallas who already has Solomon Thomas? I don't know.
It might be San Francisco. They just had a big injury at defensive edge. And a guy named Robert Saleh really likes Clemens.
Yep. That actually was going to be my second question. It's perfect timing, though. I like that. I like that Stella glass you got there. Nice
This cost me $1. We got 8 of these glasses for $1. There was a beer distributor store in
Uh-huh.
Sullivan County in Monticello, upstate New York. And we'd go in there and buy this beer from Cleveland, Ohio. They have this like beer that is German hops that we liked, and they carried it. And on the counter, it said $1. And there were these glasses. We said,
Not bad.
yeah.
Hell
We said,
yeah.
oh,
That's
yeah, you got yourselves a deal. I said, he only had 2 up there. And he goes, and the guy goes, you like it? I give you as many as you want. And he runs to the back and he came out with a box of 6 more. And I said, hell yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah, Snowball's with me, man. It is surprising to hear Clemens linked in not who we would shop, but who people are calling us about. That to me blew my socks off. I'm
Mhm.
not gonna lie. I know you're higher on him, so it makes sense to you. Him being in a contract year, you know, injuries around the league, like you said.
I
To
mean, I'm
me,
not,
though,
I'm not that high.
well, you know what I mean. Like you
Yeah,
can
the
fathom
problem,
a seventh
you know what he
or a pick
reminds me
swap.
of? He could actually bring value to a team the way, you know, who a good play, different position, but Ty Johnson, right? Was this guy who on one play would look really good for us, but that then would blow up, right? Dropping third down, costing us the drive. Like he was just so inconsistent. He'd drive you crazy. But then you'd see these signs of talent. Everybody in our fan base is focusing on Clemens bad, and they're ignoring the plays that he makes. He makes a lot of good plays during the game where he doesn't get caught out of position because it's just straight up blitz, and he gets through and he breaks the pocket. You know, he collapses the pocket, and it doesn't hurt us. And I think that people, and I'm not defend. I don't want him. I don't like inconsistent players. You can't, like, championship teams don't. You don't live like that, right? But I'm just saying, you know, another team sees that and says that there's a way we can manipulate that. The way Buffalo is utilizing Ty Johnson as a running back too. There might be a team out there that thinks we could utilize Clemens in a positive way.
Yeah, yeah. I it doesn't blow my socks off anymore after talking to you. It still would be a move that I would be interested in making in the next, hell, 40 hours. I mean,
Yeah,
we're
and you know
we're
what? You know,
winding down,
you know,
folks.
you know where I personally think Clemens would be better, in my
Where?
opinion. I think he'd be better playing in a 3-4, playing defense, like playing in a 3-4, because this way the linebackers are responsible for the edge. And
Yes.
all he's got to do is take out his lineman, right? That's all
Yeah.
you do. You know, all he's got to do is crash and just take out the guy.
How many I mean most teams play hybrids nowadays. Do you know any that predominantly play a
No,
3-4?
I don't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
I only pay
Yeah.
attention to what the Jets play. So
Yeah, yeah. You know what? There was a time when I would love the idea of us switching to a 3-4 just because of
mm.
our dearth at tackle, but you know it got way better. It's solid now. Um, Mo has a good question here, and I know a lot of people are saying, "What? That's a good question." I see it as a good question because he says, and I'll hear me out. He says Jermaine has 1 sack in 5 games. Mo Dean, could have 1 sack in the NFL in 5 games by simply tripping into the quarterback by mistake. Um, but it leads me to a good question, Chaos, and that's: are we overrating Jermaine and his impact on this team?
No, I don't think I don't. I'm not, because I don't. I rate that position by a lot more than just sacks, and I do. And I actually watch the games, right? And I noticed that teams are beating us in a different way. It's not like we have. It's not like there's many times where I'm screaming that their quarterback is sitting in the pocket forever, and I'm like, why aren't we putting pressure? It feels like we're getting beat by screen passes and really quick passes and slants. Like if you watch the games, it almost feels frustrating even for Will McDonald. Like they're not really giving us the opportunity because they're taking advantage of other weaknesses in our defense. Um, and aside from just that, I just don't believe that edge is just sacks. I mean, it's nice when you get them, and it's nice to have a bunch of them, but you also got to look at pressures. You also got to look at run stopping. On you know, he's great at that, and he is disrupting. He is disrupting. When they drop back, he is getting there. He is disrupting. He's not finishing. That's fine, because there's also one other thing to consider. He's only 1 year off of an Achilles. And that's a kind of injury where it's very common that it takes the second year. Like the first year back, you're not the same until the second year. So that's just another reality is that we're forgetting that he's literally coming back from an Achilles, and he's also, by the way, I feel like he's getting better each week. As far as his, like, I think he's played really well the last few weeks, like really, really well. And I think that if you're only going to look at sacks, fine, look at sacks. But I'm looking at the way he's playing, and
Yeah.
since he came back from that injury, look what happens to our defense. I mean, we had 2 great games, and he was a big part of it. You could feel how much we missed him.
Yep.
When we played those 2 games when he came back.
And I'll give credit to Brownlee Jr. too, because
Yeah,
he was
absolutely.
injected at exactly the same time.
Yes.
But I don't think it's either one 100%. I think it could be like 70-30 Jermaine Brownlee or 60-40 Jermaine Brownlee, but you cannot watch the first 4 or 5 weeks of this team without those 2 guys on defense, and then watch the defense with them and say that something didn't drastically change, whether it's them two or maybe it's the scheme starting to click,
Right.
or maybe it's
Remember, we're talking about 20 million paying him. We're talking about 20 million. We're not talking about 40. I acknowledge he's not Aiden Hutchinson. He's not Myles Garrett. He's not Micah. Right? He's not Crosby. We still need that. I'm telling you that I would love, the dream is you find your guy, right? Like, we still got to find that Hutchinson. We still have to find that dominant edge, right? The dream
we
edge
do.
that we all dream about, right? And then if you could keep McDonald, you have your pass rush specialist, and then you have Johnson complementing that. That's where you have that's raw power, right? I don't look at him as being. He's not the guy that gets you 15 sacks. He's not the superstar. He's not the Hall of Famer. He's not the guy that we're all seeking and trying to get. We do in the next couple of years. We have to find that, and hopefully find that.
He could be the best DE2 in the league.
Well,
in the right
it's like
situation.
JFM was going to be if we didn't trade him, right? Like when we were trying to get all these other guys. What was JFM? JFM was that guy that seals the edge really well. He could play all 3 downs, 1, 2, 3, a full bell cow edge, does everything well, right? But is probably not going to get you 15 sacks. He's not that guy, but he's that solid guy. You put him next to the guy, and a guy like JFM, like, to me, that's why it was so stupid we let him go. He's worth 20 million. Well, I don't know why we didn't pay him, why we traded him. We should have extended him, right? So you need a guy like Johnson. It's not like you're going to go out and get an Aiden Hutchinson type player. Let's say you draft high or you find that magical edge. You still need the other side, because we see how bad it is with Clemens playing. You still need a good edge on the other side, and a good edge. And when I say maybe not a superstar, but a really good player that plays and seals the edge really well, 20 million is not expensive for that.
Second thing that piggybacks off of this that I want to ask you, whether you saw yesterday, is this tweet by the man we're talking about, Jermaine Johnson. He tweeted this. Kind of a cryptic, I would say a very cryptic tweet. But I wanted to ask you.
Laughing at the idea that they're trying to trade him.
You know
Because
what?
I guarantee they're talking to his agent about his future with the team. That's what's probably really going on. For all we know, they're talking to his agent about an extension, and they're telling him, "We want you here for your whole career." And then this is the reaction to hearing these ridiculous beat writers write that they're shopping him.
What I hope it isn't is a reaction to our first contract offer to him.
Oh. Well, I mean, look, if he thinks he's a $30+ million guy, then you do have to trade him eventually. Yeah. I don't think you have to rush. You don't have to rush to trade him now. We got him for 2 more years. There's no rush to trade him. But
correct.
Obviously any player I'd say that about. If they want more than they're worth, what are you going to do? I don't believe in overpaying more than a guy is worth.
You know what? Just we sort of know his vibe, his thoughts. We get morsels of it through
the
months.
Misunderstanding of football. What Modine is doing right now. Great
I know.
football teams and great defenses don't have one edge.
Yeah,
Like, they don't.
correct.
Like, look at the good defenses in this league. Like, it is not. It's like one cornerback and then a terrible cornerback. It doesn't work. Like, I'm saying $20 million. The top guys make 40 million. There's a difference. There's a significant difference. I'm saying that Jermaine Johnson fills a role that you need on a championship team. He's the $20 million guy, the $20 to $22 million guy. He's the run stopper. He seals the edge. He's the guy that complements the superstar, right? I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe he gets 15 sacks next year. Right. And I could be wrong. And he is that superstar and he's coming back. I don't know that for a fact. But what I'm saying is you need to have two. Like, you can't, even if you had a superstar guy, if Michael Clemens is your other guy, that's a problem. The quarterback is just going to scramble to the other side. You need a good player. So it's like, look at any good defense. It's not enough to have one. You have a star and then you have a really good player. Yeah. And that's what we need. We need to lock down really good players. That's why I said extend Simpson on the offensive line at guard. They're not superstars, but they're good players. And you have to lock down good players also, because you can't afford with the salary cap to have 22 starters that are stars. It doesn't work that way.
And we're 5 years from paying top dollar for a quarterback. So if you give a guy a 4-year deal or a 3-year deal next year, you can kind of pay $20 million for a guy that isn't defensive end 1. He's defensive end 2, because he'll be off the books by the time our rookie is wanting to be extended. Will McDonald, I think he is great. I think he is better, though, as a third defensive end, pass rush specialist. Bring him in to be a hit man. So I really do like the prospects, like Jeremy's talking about if you could find a guy, draft a guy, whatever, take a shot on a guy who hasn't put it together yet. If he can come in and be exceptional, then Jermaine goes down a notch and Will McDonald goes down a notch. I think all three are playing exactly where they need to be maximum, impact.
Or the thing is, because there's not enough, right? Like, there isn't 32 guys like that. The other thing is you find another guy that's like Jermaine Johnson. If you have two Jermaine Johnson types that make somewhere around 20 to 23 million, and then you have Will McDonald as your pass specialist, pass rush specialist, there you go. Right? Yes. You don't have, because not everybody's going to be a top 5 rushing team in the league, right? Like, only 5 teams could do that. There's 32 teams. Right? So you might be number 15 in the league or 14 in the league. That's fine. But you can't be number 25. You can't be 25. Right? So you need players. Like the good teams that have like Denver. Look at the teams that are leading the league, that are the really good defensive lines that put pressure on quarterbacks. It's not one guy. It's multiple players. That's what it is. So, like, I'm saying that Jermaine Johnson could be one of those guys. Like, he's one of those key guys that you need that make up a really good defensive line.
And Mackle chimes in. He says, I think, because Mo's giving us shit, he's like, these guys aren't good if we're 1-7, period. Mackle chimes in, though, and he says, I think it's more than good or bad players. We have inconsistent players, which sucks.
Yeah, we do. It is a problem right now. Part of it is youth, right? Like, Olu is inconsistent. But Olu's playing left tackle, and he's playing against, in some games, he's playing against Hall of Fame guys or all pro guys.
Second youngest team in the league. Let's not forget that.
Right. So you're going to get some inconsistency. Now, Justin Fields, it's a career thing. He's been inconsistent in his entire career. He's a bridge quarterback. Next year he'll probably be the mentor or whatever to whoever we draft, whatever it is. But I agree with this. The consistency is an issue with a lot of our players on our team. We have a lot of guys that play really well one week and then really bad the next week. We see it all over our defense, unfortunately. But we do have some things that have been going better. Like, Stevens, horrible start to the season, terrible the first few games, 2 or 3 games, and then all of a sudden he found himself and he's actually played really well. So and then Davis, everybody's talking Thomas, AZ Thomas, everybody's talking about that one play to a freaking stud wide receiver that he got beat on one play, and they're forgetting if you take away that one play, the kid had an amazing first game for a starter. You know what I mean? Like that was the one bad play. Otherwise, all around he played really, really well. Like it's really encouraging that we got his guy in his first NFL start, a rookie, third round, played really, really well. He got beat on one pass to a guy that has beat cornerbacks all over this league. I mean, it's not
Literally.
like he got beat by some nobody. Every
Did you see
game,
what that
every
dude?
day you watch games, every Sunday games where wide receivers get big passes in big plays. You telling me that every cornerback in the league stinks because they've all given up one or two of those?
You see what T. Higgins did today, Jeremy?
Yeah, it was amazing today. I have him in fantasy, so I know 2 touchdowns and over
Yeah.
100 yards.
Yes, facts.
Yeah, guy's no joke. He's a WR1 on other teams.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I mean? He just happens to play next to Jamal Chase, who's freaking elite.
I am with you, but I also wanted to kind of put a bow on the trade talk because we are going to open the call in line. Chat, if you hear me, just know that we want to get your thoughts on it. But before you and I conclude, I want to ask you, like, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months from now, we look back at this week, 2 days before the trade deadline. Is this going to be in our memories as a good bye week, or is this going to be to you a good bye week for some of these players?
I just don't see any moves of significance. I'm not predicting there's going to be. I think it's going to be more of the same. It's going to be getting rid of guys we don't really care that much about. To me, it's more of a good bye week because if we're going to go be 1-7, I think the best way to go and have to go this 2 weeks without football is off the win. Right? I mean, it's better than we won game 2 and now have lost 6 games in a row. You know, at least we're off of a win. Like,
Yes, it it was very nice today to watch a little bit of Red Zone, a little bit of Lions, a little bit of Denver, Houston. That was a good finish. Dude, watching the end of the Bengals game, I would have missed so much had the Jets been playing. We got not just a win, but a great win last week. And we could literally, I know it pales in compare, like it's not reparations because those first 7 losses were so bad, but the one win, the first win that we got, and being able to celebrate it for 2 weeks, or not even celebrate it, but like not have to, you could unplug a little this week. We're going to be able to unplug maybe for 2 more days after this bye week and just kind of ramp up to Cleveland. That's nice because I could tell you, man, looking around this fan base, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Discord, I'm on YouTube, follow me everywhere. But I'm on all 3 of those, man, and I see what those 7 losses did to a lot of us. And they wouldn't even admit it, but you can just see people crashing out all over the place during Sundays, Tuesdays, Mondays. Dude, Twitter is on fire every Sunday and Monday for 2 months. So yeah, I don't know if we're gonna sell Brees. I don't know because we didn't bring in a running back that's even remotely, trusted to carry the ball. Isaiah Davis, I love, but that's not enough. Are we going to sell Brees? Are we going to, Jermaine? I'm with you. Let's extend him tomorrow. Are we going to sell Clemens and just go to Tyler Barron? I don't know. Man. It'd be nice to have this trade deadline be.
So awful, by the way.
Dude, he's so bad. So bad.
And by the way, you know who the
But
most overrated rookie is? The most overrated Jet, I think. I
ooh,
see on
wait, rookie or Jet?
He's a rookie, but I think he's one of the most overrated players on the team. Like on
Darian Smith?
No,
Who?
Malachi Moore. There are people on Twitter saying, "Oh, we did okay. We got ourselves a future starting safety." Are you watching the games? He's terrible. He's the worst. He looks like a 5th-round rookie playing. That's what he looks like. A guy who doesn't know how to play football. He is terrible. He is a terrible tackler.
He
And then
got
every time he makes
plowed
a
on that
tackle,
one.
every time he makes a tackle, I have to hear people say, "Oh, he's good. See, he made a tackle. He's a safety. He's supposed to make tackles." That doesn't make you good because you made a tackle as a safety. You have to look at what he doesn't do, which is miss tackles constantly. The 25-yard run by Cincinnati when they got that touchdown in like the fourth quarter, the beginning of the fourth quarter. Remember those like that run? That was all Malachi Moore.
Oh, yeah.
That was all Malachi Moore. He totally froze up and then whiffed on the tackle. It was terrible.
It was. That's the one memorable play for me last week when it comes to him is he just terrible, man. Terrible on that run. Like that went for a touchdown, didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you know
Yeah.
what? You could see, I paused it. I watched the all 22. Cincinnati committed like 7 people up front against like 6 of our guys to block. They set it up to say, you're going to have to beat Malachi Moore on your own. They literally designed it. You could see it. Everybody was spread out. They had more blockers than there was defenders in that perimeter to break him up the middle. And when he went up the middle, it was by scheme. There was no one scheme to block Malachi Moore. It was totally, you have to beat him on your own. And it was already 5 or 6, and it was designed to be a 5 or 6 yard run. Because by the time Malachi Moore gets there, it's already a 6 yard gain, right? So that's how it's designed. But what happened was he put the move on Malachi. Malachi Moore just whiffed. He froze and then whiffed. And not only did he not make the tackle, he stopped Jermaine Johnson from making the tackle. He got in Jermaine Johnson's way. So it was terrible. And it's not the only bad play he had. I'm not nailing him for just one bad play. It's since preseason. Even in the preseason games, he has been missing tackles all year. The only reason he's playing is because we left that position. We didn't address that position enough, and we're being embarrassed.
And now Cisco's out with the torn pec, mind you. Tony Adams will be in with Malachi Moore, maybe the rest of the way. Not a hot room. The chat I want to mention, they're talking. Yeah, you can't, and that's what I said. You can't leave Davis as your RB. I mean, you can, but you have to have a strong showing behind him. Khalil Herbert. I mean, all I've seen him do is return kicks. I did not see him carry the ball at all. But I want to before I share this caller link, Chaos. There was a Danger Zone channel members only Discord question submitted that I needed to pose to you. And if you're wondering what the hell is that, hey, the Danger Zone has a Discord now. Just become a member tonight and you can be in there. Sorry, shameless plug, but
sometimes he does like video hangouts and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. His lady just sits there on the call also, like watching over him to make sure he's behaving.
We play strip poker. Yeah. And I start the game only wearing one sock. I'm not going to tell you which foot it's on, but user Murph, who you may know, submitted a question, Jeremy, and I want to get your thoughts on it. He asked, you know what, let me quote him because I don't want to misquote him. Let's see here. He asked, and I quote, everybody talking about selling, but is there any possibility the Jets make a trade for somebody? Maybe a young player with potential or something? Jeremy, I want to get your thoughts on that question from member of the DZ crew, Daniel Murphy.
Well, we kind of did that with Mechie. I'm not saying that he is. People have to understand about Mechie is he was an incredible college prospect, tore his ACL in the championship game for Alabama. And then when he finally recovered from that, got leukemia, right? He got the kind that, you can come back from. I'm not saying it's a dart. It's throwing a dart, right? I'm not saying we're relying on Mechie to be a future wide receiver on our team, but we did throw a dart at a kid that doesn't cost anything. I think we got contract control for at least through next year, so I wouldn't expect it to be any more than that. We're in the, I mean, it's whether they want to say it or not, we're in a rebuild and we're in the first year of that rebuild, right? So, and don't panic if you get a good quarterback. Nowadays rebuilds could be 2 years. Like, so next year could be a rough year where we improve a little and then boom, we're off to the races. But I don't think we're in a position right now to do anything significant. We're certainly not going to get anyone in the middle of their career that cost a lot of money. It's going to be a guy like Mechie. It'll be somebody or a guy like we just saw with Brownlee that we traded for, right? It's going to be a guy that, or that we signed. Like it's going to be a guy that's still in their rookie contract or something that we liked. Those guys, Muji, someone liked him. They saw some potential, and the team they were on didn't like them. But I don't think it's going to be a move of significance. It's going to be a move.
Right.
It could be a move that becomes significant because I think we've made some great moves. Like
Like Brownlee.
we got Brownlee, Briggs, Phillips. I think we've made some really good moves and got some guys that were very small, 6th, 7th round draft pick type swap picks, not big news, big headline moves that were really solid moves that are giving us decent football players, at least, somewhat decent. I mean, even though we're 1-7, we've almost won a lot of games. Like, we could very easily be, we could have won at least 2 or 3 more games. We just didn't know how to win. So the reason we were able to stay in those games is there are some good players on this roster. I'm not saying they're great and they're not consistent enough. Someone pointed that out, but we definitely got some decent players because both those defensive tackles are good. Brownlee's good. Like we've added some somewhat okay players. Some of those guys might stick and be around for this rebuild, and we might try to get more of those kind of guys, but we're not going to bring in a big name.
Yeah, I'm with you on the 23 to 26-year-old acquisition. I think we could do. I don't see us trading for anybody over the age of 27, 27 and up. Why? Why are you doing that? Dude, 1 or 2 losses after the bye. I think we need to just totally segue to the youngest players on the roster, even if it's Tyler Barron, Jeremy. But 1-9, man, Tyler Barron is a different story.
I like the idea of letting the kids play at that point. Like if it falls that far out of hand, now, see, I don't believe in tanking and losing on purpose, but I do believe in not having to do everything to win, but and start doing things for the future. So letting the kids play is not doing everything to win this week, but it's also not tanking. There's a purpose to it. We're evaluating. We're giving experience and reps to players to see who should be around next year.
Agreed. That's exactly where I was going with that. Like you don't do it at 1. I don't do it at 1-7 because it's a brand new regime, and I will say if there's ever a time when one bye week in a given year means a little more than just a bye week, I think it's a brand new regime, first year defensive scheme, first year offensive scheme, first year quarterback. All these things are firsts. So I'm willing to give it a few more games after the bye to see if everything starts clicking. Not to make a run. I'm just saying to figure out if we are gonna segue, just go full on young. When there might be fringe injured guys that you're playing now, but 2 more losses, maybe you're shutting them down. Braylon Allen, he's trying to come back. They haven't fully said done for the year. They said 8 to 12 weeks. But what I'm saying is, if you're 1-9, hey, bro, you know what I mean? It impacts things long term. And let's see. We play Cleveland, we play New England, we play these teams. We'll see how it goes, man. I just want to be competitive. I don't even care if we lose them all, but if we're right there for 4 quarters, you said it, man. Last week we won and we only played 8 minutes. Finish that thought. 8. What were you saying last week?
We played for 10. I look back at it. It was more like 9.5 to 10 minutes. We played for 10 minutes. right? We were terrible all game. We suffered all game. Some good things happened because we did score points. The reason we were down by 14 is because we did have 24. But we we played complementary football for the first time this year practically, pretty much. For 10 minutes, and we saw what it could look like when we played 10 minutes of really good complementary football. Basically, it was two long touchdown drives and two 1, 2, 3 and outs. Actually, three, because we got out of it. No, we gave up a touchdown, scored a touchdown, got out 1, 2, 3, scored a touchdown, got out 1, 2, 3. So it was about 9 to 10 minutes of complete complementary dominant football.
I am with you, man. And I don't even need 4 quarters of that, but give me three. And I will be like, all right, I'll sign up for that again next Sunday. I just, the first 7 weeks, I said it, people were crashing out, man. I was internally. Um, I beat myself up on Sundays when we are terrible. It's just tough to watch, man. It's tough to watch a whole game and not cheer once. Tired of that, man. Let's just push that to the side. Be done with that. And then we could just lose respectfully. That's a whole nother tier above us right now. Let's get there. But anyways, chaos. We do have a caller on the line.
Big surprise.
One that one
Exactly.
that I you know what? Yeah, because it's exactly who I predicted would be our very first caller. Chaos in the zone, visitor number one.
5 minute max.
I bet you he'll bring the heat. We got to find out what he wants to talk about when it comes to trade deadline and bye week talk. Um, let's see what he's got to say. Chat's probably already on it. They know who it is too. Without further ado, the one, the only, at YouTube at Charles Gorman 5188 baby. Subscribe all platforms. Charles Gorman.
Hey everybody, hey Jeremy, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. How are you, Charles?
Good. I'm watching the Seattle game. They're just destroying Washington as we speak.
Yeah.
Listen, as for whole trading Jermaine, I don't think it's necessary. He's a good player. I know he's still coming off a really bad injury. I know he only has one sack this year, but as I said, he's coming off an Achilles injury he suffered in week 2 of last season. You got to give him some time to recuperate. Modine, you can go burn in hell for all I care. Uh, um, doesn't like me, Modine. I don't like him either, so he can kiss
That's
my
okay.
ass.
That's okay. He's Modina's one. He's like it's like a kind of like very smoky, very peaty Scotch. It's for very acquired taste.
I got something else to say, but
Okay.
it's not kid friendly.
Yeah, don't get canceled.
No.
Get
Don't worry
canceled,
about him. Let's
Charles.
focus on the Jets.
Yes, let's focus.
Um, Obviously, I wouldn't trade Brees. I wouldn't trade. I would keep your building blocks, right? Obviously, yes, you want to build for the future, but I would not trade away your building pieces, right? If you're going to get a rookie quarterback, I'm not saying they are, but if they were to somehow get, let's say, get a top 3, top 5 pick in the draft, I would keep those guys for as a building block because a rookie quarterback could use a guy like Brees, or could use a guy like Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald on the defensive side of the ball, and obviously Garrett Wilson. Hopefully, he comes back soon before the end of the year. Hopefully, he comes back during the Cleveland game because we could really use some help there. You can't really count on a guy like Tyler Johnson to step up every week. Not saying Tyler Johnson's a bad player, but he's not like a proven player. You know what I'm saying? So
He's
we're
a
gonna need
role player. He's a veteran role player.
exactly my point.
Yeah.
And also going back to, I want to talk about a little bit about our tackles, our young tackles.
Yeah.
Yes, they. I'm sorry. What?
Nothing. Go ahead. I want to talk about the tackles. I like that subject.
I think Olu I think both Olu and Armand. I was gonna say Olu and Fashanu, but they're like the same person. Olu and Armand. I think they have a bright future in this league. They have a bright future in this league. I know Olu's been a bit inconsistent at times this year, but he does show a lot of promise and potential. Obviously, if you remember last year against Seattle with that talented defense, he did not allow a single pressure, which is incredible because they got some talented pass rushers on that side. But obviously against Cincinnati, where they had, even though Trey Hendrickson was banged up a bit, they still did not allow too many pressures. They did not allow a single sack in that game. Plus, if you go back against Pittsburgh week 1, who obviously had a big game against the Colts today, they did not allow too many sacks or too many pressures in that game. And plus, Ramon Mambo, this was a guy a lot of Jet fans wanted, including myself. I actually called it at the draft party. And so far, he hasn't been too bad this year, Ramon Mambo. I mean, he had a great game against T.J. Watt, who's a future Hall of Famer. He had a great game against Cincinnati. These are tackles that I think will. I still see, even though they have yet to prove themselves completely and consistently, I see from a potential standpoint, they're the best bookend tackles we've had since DeBrickashaw and Damian Woody. Remember, those guys, they were our bookend tackles for 3 years, and those guys were really damn good.
Yeah, I think Membo is by far the best rookie tackle out of this year. People are talking about offensive rookie of the year for Membo, saying that they should consider tackle for, even though that's not traditional that a tackle would be considered for offensive rookie of the year. People are making the argument that he should be considered. And remember, there was a guy that some people called generational in Will Campbell, who was picked 4th by New England, and Membo has been better.
Well, Will Campbell, I mean, I hate the page as much as, not a little bit more so than some other Jet fans. But Will Campbell, with all due respect, has played very well for the Patriots this year. Even though I know that I'm not denying that, but he's played well for New England. Right, and I understand. And he's played very well. But yeah, I agree. Membo has looked pretty damn good. Obviously, and I'm going to say this, and I was actually going to do a pregame show for the Cleveland Brown game at some point this week. The Jets are going to have their hands full with Myles Garrett this upcoming week. Because Myles Garrett, he had 5 sacks last week versus the Patriots, even though they lost. That's going to be a huge challenge for Amon Membu and Olu Fashionham because Myles Garrett is one of the best of all time at getting to the quarterback. So it's not. I'm not trying to deny their character, their work ethic, because that would be wrong of me. But it's time for them to get their big boy pants on because Myles Garrett is going to be trying to eat their lunch money for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
It's going to be a great test for them.
Oh, 100%. It's going to be an unbelievable test for them. And that's all I got to really say, gentlemen. And for who would I like the Jets to trade for? I mean, I don't know if Olave is going to be available. I know the Saints are terrible this year, too. I wanted oh, shit. I just realized that Jaden Daniels had his arm busted up on a play against Seattle.
Hey, Charles, if you could get a 3rd for Brees and then give away a 5th for Kamara, would you do it?
Hell no. No disrespect to Kamara. He's a good player, but, I wouldn't trade Brees, period. Even if they give me $1 million, I wouldn't trade him. I like Brees. He's my favorite player on the Jets. To be brutally honest, I think he's having a very good season. One of the best he's had in a while. Speaking of Brees Hall, last year he only had one 100-yard rushing performance, and that was a Monday night game against Buffalo. This year he's got 3. He had 1 in Pittsburgh week 1. He had 1 against the Dallas Cowboys, which I thought was completely and utterly wasted due to a lot of bad play calling by, the hell's the offensive coordinator? Come on, Charles. Oh, God.
Last year?
No, this year. Was the offensive coordinator for the Jets? Tanner Angstrand, thank you. Started with a T, I remember that. And he had 1 this past Sunday against Cincinnati. So I hope he gets a 1,000-yard rushing season. We need it. We have a great rushing attack this year, which has been our offensively, we haven't been that consistent this year, but if there's one thing that has been very good this year has been our rushing attack. I mean, we're a top 3, top 5 rushing attack this year. A lot of it sure has to do with, not only Brees Hall and our other running backs, but also Justin Fields and his mobility. But as you said before, Justin Fields has been inconsistent his whole career. But I think a lot of that has to do with him being traumatized in Chicago. But that's just me personally.
Yeah.
Fair. Charles, hey, good takes. Mo, don't let Mo Dean scare you away, brother.
Oh, he's
Keep
not
coming
scaring me
on.
away. I'm fighting
Yes,
back against that son bitch. So I can
there
care
you
less.
go. I will document the battle here in the danger zone every Sunday night and Friday night, man. You guys have only seen the tip of the iceberg. Charles, have a good night.
You too, man. God bless.
Take care, Charles.
God bless.
You too, Jared.
I think the only, I think people have to understand that Modine fills an important role in this community. I mean, so you shouldn't let him get under your skin too much because everybody's got to have the Modine type of guy. I'm sure the San Francisco 49er content providers have their version of Modine. He's probably the same picture, except it's like red, crazy puffy hair, like, but everybody's got to, everybody's got to have their Modine. You know what I mean?
Hey,
We all,
man.
just like we all have to have our Charles. Every community needs a Charles, and and it's just the way it
Yep.
is.
And Mo, he's down there, man. Fridays and Sundays, he is down there in the trenches. He may or may not be a Jet fan. Doesn't matter, man. He is a danger zone crew member. He is a likable fellow. He also had some trouble. We're doing a pick'em contest, and you have to submit your pick. Long story short, like he was commenting on one of my videos, and it wasn't sticking. Like you refresh, gone. And he was trying to submit his picks that way. He showed me a like a screen record of it, a bizarre issue. And he got with me, and we put our heads together. We figured it out. We think we figured it out. But what I'm saying is, through the struggles I've had with him the last day or two, like he's an honest guy. He's a good guy. And again, like for a potentially non-Jet fan to be here in the danger zone with us twice a week, chopping it up with Bill M and Charles and Scott Foster. Dude, you're a member of the family. Because you know what, with him, he trolls, but he doesn't get nasty. He doesn't get disrespectful. And I'm down to have a little trolls as long as they're having fun, man. I like having fun too.
Yeah.
So you're right. Every show needs one, maybe five. He is one for sure, and you won't hear a bad word from me about him. Charles, good call, man. Again, he's struggling with his Jet fandom right now. You can see it when he talks about them. He said he's going to put the Jets on ice. He's going to be a Colts fan this year. Chaos. I don't know if you've heard this, but thoughts on that? Because
I've
I'm
had,
going to be on.
you know what? I've had over the 40 plus years, I've had my moments where I've said, F this. Like, I just want to root for another team. I just can't do this anymore. I've had those moments, but I think the true test of a fan is, it's just like with a relationship. I'm a loyal guy. May have moments where I'm heated and say, that's it, I'm done. Pack up a little suitcase, drive the car around for 10 minutes and then you come back home. Like
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah, I do.
you hit up the drive-through at McDonald's, get a couple of double.
Yeah. Well, you know
Say,
what? And
while I'm in this fight, I may as well take advantage of my freedom and eat a couple of McDonald's double cheeseburgers.
forget all about it, man. Forget all
and,
about it.
and then head home. And then when you're not hungry for dinner, say, well, we were in a fight. I didn't know we were making up. I had to eat.
I didn't. You wanted anything either. Like, sorry, I ate both our portions. Been there. But also like, it's a new era. Like, I too have had the same thoughts you've mentioned. There just wasn't a camera in my face all the time, or like, I wasn't uploading my thoughts all the time. If I were, I'd probably be canceled by now. But we evolve as people, and our emotions evolve, and things change. I don't even know if he still feels that way. But I will say this is a month ago. we've gotten a win. Here he is still calling in, still talking jet ball, talking trade deadline, talking young tackles. So, you know what? He, just like Modine, member of the family.
Yeah. He wants
So
apology. He came and apologized and said, like, I'm enemy number. I said, Charles, you don't have to apologize to me.
facts.
You really don't have to apologize. Like, this team, this team has caused a lot of pain for a lot of us, and people process pain differently.
Yes. Yes, exactly. And you know what? I give him kudos for being transparent. I do, because it takes a real man to be transparent in a tough situation, and he was. Anyways, I just saw a new super chat, and then I realized, fudge, there was an old one that I never got to because the call in and all that. And I apologize because I know this guy, Jeremy. You know this guy.
He's a Marine.
Heck of a guy. You want to read it, Jeremy?
I believe 10-7. I'm a cowboy from Wyoming. Yeah. I spent a lot of time with Wyatt when he was last year when he was in town for the Jet game, and I actually took him to one of the famous delis, and was with him for his first pastrami sandwich.
Oh, dude.
I sat with him and watched him eat his first pastrami sandwich. So
see, that's a Brooklyn Brothers segment if I've ever seen one, where you introduced like food virgins to new foods, man. We might have to do that when you and I get together, because like I don't have a real educated palate, man.
have you ever? I'm so curious now. Have you ever had a knish?
Knish, no.
Oh,
and I've heard.
God, there's so much potential. Like, it just take you for such a.
Dude, this is a whole Brooklyn Brothers food review. Follow that on YouTube, guys. A whole spin-off little segment where you open our eyes to food.
I'll do it as a separate playlist on the Brooklyn Brothers food review channel. Like
boom.
Funny looking, funny tall man tries Knish for the first time, and then it'll be me with you saying, I'm going to take this dude for his first Knish, and we'll get your reaction. And we were talking about it before the show. There's a lot of places that I have to bring Dayne-O if we ever meet in New York together, like a real Italian bakery, and your first Neapolitan and an actual Italian bakery. Like, just to see your reaction to some of these things.
Neapolitan to me is an ice cream sandwich.
No, I'm talking about a layered pastry with cream. So good, so good. I'm sure you've had a cannoli though, right? You've already had that.
Yes, cannoli, yes.
But wait until you try one where it was made within the last 10 minutes in a New York City real Italian bakery.
Game changer. I realized that I just haven't gotten out and sampled things, but hey, here I am across country, out of the Midwest. Wyatt, I don't know how often he's been able to do that, but once you do, you start learning new shit, man. And I've already tried a bunch of shit here that had no idea what it was. So yeah, I'm just adding to the repertoire now. I will say that. You know what? I'd be remiss. I almost missed this. If Charles, if you're still watching, and if you didn't
unblock mode,
yeah, Charles, you probably just came to call in and now you're gone. But if you're still here, chopping it up, unblock Modine, please. But anyways, Wyatt super chatted. Like I said, I apologize, Wyatt, if you're already gone. I'll make sure that you see the little we spoke of you here just a moment ago. We got another one that sparked that to me. E-Boogie, another friend of both of ours, I believe.
You got a super chat coming that's going to blow your minds. It's the first one I've seen from him. 3 years, I've never seen one from him.
All right, let's do this first, though.
Blow your minds.
E-Boogie. $1.99. How would you feel if the Jets are buyers? Very similar question to what Murph asked, but let's assume we are. Wide receiver, free safety, something else. Let me ask you that first, Chaos.
I would feel that it would only make sense to me as if they were young and had at least 2 years of control left, or if they had just signed a contract that's pretty okay. Like, it wouldn't make sense to me if it was a guy that's about to have an expiring contract that's going to be really expensive, because we're not at that stage. We're not in a, we have our own guys that we want to retain and extend. We're not in shop mode, right? We're in rebuild mode. But like Mechie is an example of, he's a dart throw. He's not a big name, but if they brought in a guy that for some reason wasn't hitting it off with his team, that they really liked, that was still on a rookie deal, that had 2 to 3 years left on his contract, and they really believed he could be part of this turnaround, and part of the future of the team, that would be not so shocking. Like, I'd understand it, and I'd say, okay, cool. Especially like a wide receiver. Like, a wide receiver would be, to me, well, they're planning on drafting a quarterback, right? So they saw an opportunity to maybe get somebody else in the room because they want to give that young quarterback, as many weapons as possible as they move forward and start their career. Free safety would just be simply, you got to function. Even if you're in rebuilds, you got to function. And right now we don't have that room. Is not just the worst in the NFL. It might be the worst in 20 years in the NFL. That room is atrocious right now. It is really as broken as I've ever seen a position room. Our safety situation is just beyond terrible. I mean, it's really a bad situation. None of these guys are NFL starters, in my opinion. None of them should be starting. The level of play has been terrible. So maybe just because you want to be respectable, you need to be able to hold your head in front of the clubhouse and talk to the players. And you can't sit there and talk about winning and then not make an effort to put something better out there with them, right? So if they brought in some free safety, again, I would still hope it was somebody that had a couple of years of team control left.
Yeah. And I agree. Or someone they know who is young that they can give a couple years to right off the bat. I don't want this Cisco where it's like, oh, he could work out, but then it's a rental and then you got, you know what I mean? Like, I want them locked in and I want to feel like it's confident that they can work out. I don't want a Kinlaw, like when we got Kinlaw, he was nothing. And let's not go down that path. But you're right. Okay, you know what, E-Boogie, I hope that satisfies you. I do, along with Jeremy, think free safety is a big need. Bigger than wide receiver, yeah. On this team, I think so, because it's more important that it plays well. Wide receiver, I'm not sold on needing, that room to play well. We're getting Garrett back. Mason Taylor's coming along. We have an 11 million wide receiver next to those two guys. That now Alan Lazard, tough, man. Trade him if you can get anything. Trade him. I'll give Mr. Irrelevant for a mid-7th if you take him.
I'll give Alan. I would trade Alan Lazard for a couple of double cheeseburgers and a fries at McDonald's.
Would you get? Well, yeah. I guess if he had another year or two left on his deal, I might even give away a pick to shed him.
Right. Well, sometimes that happens and it's disguised. That's not talked about, but it's really the pick that the person wanted anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you just want that that contract.
Right. You're just trying to get rid of the contract. We've seen it. Basketball is the most known sport for that. Like, it's more common in basketball than I've ever seen. Like, there are plenty of teams that a team with a lot of cap space that's not near the cap will literally take a player from a team and then for picks, like for their number 1 draft pick, and they have to give something back. So they give some garbage back, but it's 100%. We will give you draft picks to take this contract off of our hands.
A salary dump. Yep.
Yeah.
Salary dump. You are right, Chaos. This does blow my mind. It doesn't, and it does. Because, like, Modine, I mean, he became a member on the channel, and that blew my mind. But dude, $10 super chat, not $1.99. Modine is laying the
I
smack
really
down.
want to make it worth his $10, man. I
Let's
really
do
want to
it.
make it worth it. He
How do you
doesn't do it
want to do that?
often. I don't know. Does he want me to sing for him? I mean, like, like,
Does he want to see your
I just
feet?
want it to be. Do you want me to recite Macbeth? Like, I just want to do something for this super chat because it's like, you know,
how creative can you read this super chat?
yeah, I
Chaos,
always
because we
think
haven't read it yet.
I always say that Modine is an old man, so I just want to quickly say because he always says, "How do you know I'm old?" And I always say, "He's so old, Modine. You're such an old fart." So I just want to. I'm gonna sing. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna do this for you, Modine, in the voice of the actual songwriter. Old man, take a look at my life. I'm a lot like you. I've got something with the whole day through.
I love it. Modine, he says to Dane, the Danger Zone, co-host Jeremy, the chat, and my favorite team, the Bills. Is that like a mic drop? Boom. The Bills.
The Bills.
Uh,
You know what sucks
Mod-
is that we
what?
just because the Bills are still, we don't know how much longer it's going to go. Josh Allen is still looking pretty young and good, and he's going to stay there forever. So we're enduring this long cycle of the Bills being dominant with Josh Allen. And then even when they come out of it, now we're watching New England rise to that. Right now they got Drake May, and like it's just, and it's like, and the Jets in Miami, we just sit there for the last 25 years and watch it. I mean, we at least had a run where we won playoff games. Miami didn't, but Miami and the Jets, we're just sitting there and watching the New England and Bills just take turns, just dominating us. You know, New England
on a
did
scale.
20 years.
What's even worse is on a scale of 0 to 100, how confident are you that we can pick a quarterback whenever we do that can put us in the same tier, same mix as those two teams, even if it takes some time? But how confident are you, 0 to 100, we will get a guy that will put us there?
Even if we had the number one pick and took my favorite guy, Mendoza, I'm still not confident. 70. I mean, because let's face it. You know, even when you get your guy, there's no science to this, right? We watch guys crash and burn all the time that we swear are going to be good NFL quarterbacks. So and I've been, you know, for 40 plus years, I've been watching this team, and the only time we've ever drafted quarterbacks of any promise to be good, they tear a rotator cuff. It was Ken O'Brien, and then it was Chad Pennington. Like anytime we draft a guy and can have a franchise guy, they tear a rotator cuff. I mean, it's like the story of my life. So we've never been able to do it. So how even 70 is disgustingly too high. Because I've been a fan for over 40 years. We've never been able to do it. We've never had a Drake May. We've never had a Tom Brady, a Josh Allen, a Patrick Mahomes. We've never had anything like that. Nothing even close to that. Yeah.
I'm scared to make the selection because it means that it's all we get for a while to look forward to. Because I know, you know what I mean? It's like right now is the prime position because we're hopeful and looking forward. But once we take that guy and it starts, like we had to wait, we took Zach Wilson, and here we are not getting another chance for 5 more years. I'm scared that we take the wrong guy and we have to wait 5 more.
Well, that's the
Like
thing.
at that point, I'm Charles Gorman at that point.
Yeah, I mean, well, you can't do that. Like, you have to be able to recognize when someone's not the guy. You know, I really respect Arizona, man. They just saw it with Josh Rosen. They just said it doesn't matter when we took him. He's not the guy. And the next year they took Kyle Murray. And believe me, whoever we take, I will. You know, if we took Mendoza and they said, how about if he had Kyle Murray's career and he's Kyle Murray, would you be happy with that? I'd say no. I'd rather not take that deal and just have him take my chances. So I'm not plugging Kyle Murray. I think Kyle Murray's okay. He's a functional NFL quarterback, but that's not what we're talking about. We want our guy. We want
Yeah,
our
we
guy.
need it.
We
In
want a
this
guy
market,
who's
you
going to
need
make
it.
us relevant for 15 years. That's what we want.
And like 2027, there'll be guys. So like the struggle is that I want to see this guy play before knowing about 2027, but I also want this guy to sit. So it's like, oh man, how can we evaluate this guy fast enough to be okay taking, going back to the well the next year? It's tough. We'll get into that. I mean, we have many Sundays to do so. Modine, though, I do want to go back to and just say thank you, man. For real. The age of this channel, where we're at with the growth, man, a $10 super chat goes a long way. It really does. And I appreciate you, man. Look forward to, you being a part of the gang moving forward. And with me and Chaos here, he's new. He's on the gang. I mean, not new, but you know what I mean. Like he's locked in now, regularly, and I appreciate both you guys, man, and Charles as well. All everyone in the chat. Let's just keep having fun, man. Chaos, I got behind in the chat, but there's some stuff that can we just rapid fire through?
Sure.
Okay. Scott says, "What the hell is a knish?"
It's like pastry filled with potato, and the potato is heavily onion. So it's like, imagine like a mashed potato where you cook it, kind of mash it up, but it's mixed in with like mustard seed, spices, a lot of onion, onion at different levels. So when you bake it, when you put the stuffing in the raw pastry and bake it, some of the onion is raw, some of it's semi-cooked, some of it's even cooked burnt. So there's different levels of cooking the onion. And then you take this mixture, this thing in this, and you bake it fresh, and it comes out, and it's a very light, thin pastry dough stuffed with this very flavorful potato. But it's not mashed smooth; it's chunky. Like, so, there should be, the texture is there's little pieces of potato too, like
Well,
mixed.
if there's two things I love, it's anything dealing with a potato I love, and onions.
Potato.
And onions.
Potato and onions are like go really well, and it makes sense because if they grow together, they go well together. That's what I learned from every farmer out here in California.
Okay, next one. Scott Foster, ask Chaos, what is the top pizza joint in Sacktown? Because I don't know if you know this, but Scott is from Cali, Northern Cali. He wants your thoughts. For real, top pizza joint.
Well, about 35 of the top places, not really Sacktown, but the place that I could realistically go to, and me and my wife we've said, fuck it, we just drive all the way out there, we go, come back, is a place called Vicini's, but it's actually in Fairfield. So it's in between Sacramento and San Francisco. And it's guys from Staten Island. You pull up, you're in the right place because there's a big freaking Suburban with the tire with the Yankee emblem on it. You walk in there and he's like, hey, how can I help you? You feel like you're in New York, and they have some pies out already and very real deal, average, like an average place you'd stroll into in Brooklyn or, in Queens or, like just an average pizzeria, local place. But for me, it's gold because the pizza could be so bad. Locally, I could walk to a place that has the potential to be really good. They got thin crust. The crust is okay. They got grande mozzarella cheese, so they're using the right cheese. They just don't put enough sauce on. Like, I wish I could go in there and be their consultant. I could make, because I grew up in a pizzeria, I could make their sauce for them and tell them how much to use and get the ratio right, and they might be as good as Vicini's. So I have a place that has the potential. And then I got another place that's not as good as Vicini's, but it's really good. It's called Old World Giovanni's. And that's not really a walk. It's a drive, but it's a 10-minute drive. That's actually, it's like a below average place. It's like a place that, like in your neighborhood in Brooklyn, would be not a place you'd ever go on purpose, but, oh, we're passing by anyway, or, you know what I mean? But like, it's okay. But it's not the place you would choose. Like, it's like a below average Brooklyn place. But compared to everything else, again, these places I mentioned, after that, there's a huge drop, right? And it's like it's like terrible pizza. There's also a pizza place that's not authentic New York. It's like, I call it Sacramento pizza, but it's very high quality and very good. It's this husband and wife who make, it's like thin crust, but it's sourdough. and they use a very fancy gourmet sauce and all kinds of cheeses. So it's not authentic pizza. If you're looking for that, you'll be disappointed, but it's delicious food. Like it's really tasty and really good. And it's crispy and it has the nice texture. And so if we're in the mood for that, it's not a bad choice.
Another
I
rapid
answer that
fire. You did. You definitely did. You bought me a moment to scan the chat for a couple more as we're winding down here. Johnny Boy chiming in. He says, "Hola, Dayne-O and Chaos." I see that. He also asks, JSN or Will McDonald, Jeremy? And you are notably hot taker that said Will McDonald should be poised for a big year. Hey, let's put that aside.
Yeah.
Let's just look at these two guys. As you maybe buy me 30 seconds here. What are your thoughts? Who is having the better career?
Well, JSN, because he's a full role player. JSN is I mean, it took him a while, but I think he's stepping up now as a legit like wide receiver. Like I think he plays slot, right? So it's not like he's a WR1-2 type, but he's a guy who could get you, could have 100-yard games. I don't know. I really like Will McDonald, but the fact that he can't stop the run, he's not a complete player. Whereas JSN is a real weapon. And I think it's I don't know. Like if I was like right now, if I would do that trade, like if I would I trade McDonald for JSN, I think I would. Especially if we draft like Mendoza. I would love to have JSN aside on the other side of Garrett Wilson or in the slot, and then get ourselves a big-bodied receiver to complement the trio. So I would have to say JSN, and it doesn't mean I don't like Will McDonald. I still love him. He's one of my favorite Jets. But to be honest, we should have taken JSN in that draft.
Yeah,
because our problem has been scoring points. We don't score points. We should have taken JSN because we needed weapons on the offense.
I think most of us did want JSN in that draft too, which makes it a little tougher. But also, like, I don't know, like, what would JSN have looked like here his first few years?
Well, the numbers wouldn't be good, right? The numbers probably wouldn't be good.
Probably not.
We haven't had good offensive play. So you're right. I mean, that's a really good point. We wouldn't know it. We might think he's a bust even though he isn't,
And what would Will McDonald look on a team that played with leads? We also don't know that.
What if he would have went with Solid of the Niners?
Yeah, agreed.
He had 12 sacks last year. So they're not lining him up wide 9 as much anymore. They're not lining him up right. We are doing to Will McDonald this year what the Eagles did to Bryce Huff. We are misusing him.
Yeah, that's a under talked about thing too. How the Eagles used Huff. Yeah, because you see him playing well in San Francisco, man. You really do. Yeah. One thing. Oh yeah, Modine talking about kind of what we talked about, but Jets will pick the only quarterback that will be a bust in 2026.
Now that's trolling.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. He also said Mechie, another bum, but I am glad he beat cancer.
See, Modine,
we didn't mention that.
Yeah, Modine has his limits of how far he'll go. Like he's not going to go there.
He's not good point. That's a good point because that's exactly what we talked about. Don't be disrespectful. Like, and we didn't talk about the leukemia thing.
I wouldn't call him a bum. I would call him a very unfortunate. Like he's had a very unfortunate set of circumstances. The ACL, the cancer. He was a great prospect. That doesn't mean he's guaranteed. Like even without all of that, he may have been a bust. We see it all the time. But he was a great prospect. He was when you watched his film, man, he was great. He was a great prospect. He was somebody I was super excited about.
I'm with you. Harlan popped in talking about food. Harlan must have joined us during your Knish segment or your pizza segment.
Yeah, Harlan, sometimes we talk about food.
Whatever. Hey, you got a food channel, so like, come on, we got to. But also,
it's part of what I'm known for. You know,
I'm a growing boy too. Like, yeah. Silent Aaron Glenn, whoever you are, love this show. We love you, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Silent.
Silent.
I mean, it's our
Yeah.
second show ever, so that's kind of a nice thing to read.
We move in silence, right?
Yeah.
Wyatt, maybe he didn't miss our segment where we talked about him for 35 minutes. Wyatt, if you missed that,
We talked
go
about you.
back.
We talked about your first pastrami sandwich.
There you go. That's exactly what we did.
Can I do his
he
voice
said,
one more time just in case he missed it?
yes, please.
This smoked meat is good. I like it. Yeah, makes me want to take my lasso and lasso up a steer.
Isn't he in like Wyoming?
Yeah. He's a real cowboy. Dude, he's a real cowboy. He's the first real cowboy I've ever spent real time with. Like hung out, like went out to eat, hung out and spent time with the truest, no joke, not just buying a hat and pretending to be one. He's a cowboy. He grew up on a ranch. He's a freaking cowboy. He can do everything that cowboys do. You know, he knows how to break a horse, the whole thing.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna. Two things came to mind, Wyatt, and if you're still watching, let me know. Have you ever branded a steer? I'm curious. What did your brand look like if you did have a brand? But also, did you ever bust a bronco? I love me some westerns, man, and those are the first two that came to mind. Not to put you on the spot, but let us know.
You know, I gotta say, I have this Mexican friend. He's adorable. His name is Johnny Boy, and I see him fighting to get this question in. Like, he's got this question. He put the capital Q. He's doing everything to get this question read. So there it is.
Do you want to read it for anyone who's not watching?
Q for the panel. Thoughts about this quarterback class as not being all that good. Like, if Howard was coming out with this class, he would have been top quarterback. Somebody said this? He was
Will Howard.
Rounds. Yeah. Thoughts about this quarterback? I don't know what this is coming from. Like, Will Howard was never a top prospect for me. He was a system quarterback who never. It doesn't mean he can't be a good NFL player. I'm not saying that. I'm saying there was nothing that you could make you draft him, though. There's no evidence of it. Like, it would have to be something you discovered afterwards. Because if you watch his film from college, there's nothing that says NFL quarterback. He was a system quarterback. Like so many, that's the problem. That college runs such a different offense that, and I don't want to be a hypocrite, 80% of the quarterbacks, at least, it's the same issue. The reason we miss on quarterback is because the college offense is run so differently. They're like one read and go, one read and check down, RPO, and it doesn't work in the NFL, and that's a huge issue, right? So, but I don't know why we would say he would be a top quarterback in this class. I do think there's less quarterbacks than we thought there would be in this class, but I think Mendoza is very much a really, really strong candidate. I think that he could go number 1 overall in the draft, and I wouldn't blink. My problem with Ty Simpson is the lack of evidence. Again, it's not as bad as with Will Howard, because I do see with Simpson. I'm seeing the throws, like he's making different throws, like he's showing touch, finesse, drop passes, like dropping the sideline, like he's doing all kinds of different kind of passes. The problem with him is we haven't seen enough of him. He doesn't have a lot of reps under his belt. So that's a problem. I don't love Dante Moore. I don't love Mateer. So I will say it's not a great class in volume. It isn't. But
not if you're looking for a guy who's ready.
Right.
Like
exactly.
Dante Moore, I like, but not for what he is now. It's more so like what he could become with his athleticism, with his deep ball, but he needs seasoning.
I look at a guy. Yeah, I look at a guy like him and I'm like, I just don't know. Like, he might be. I can't say anyone isn't, because it's not their fault they play in a system where they don't get to show whether or not they could do something. That's not Dante Moore's fault,
They
right?
run
None of
they
these
run
guys,
the ball so well
right?
over there, and he
Yeah,
has Sadiq, then Mendoza. Like
and
I
he has
asked
and he has
myself, dude, what would Mendoza be without Surratt? Like it's tough. It's
right.
tough,
Well,
man.
okay, yeah, yeah. And the thing I like about Mendoza, the reason he's my number one, is because he is the least system quarterback. Like, he actually is trusted to go through progressions. He goes into the pocket and he actually goes through progressions. And I have a lot of film. There's like every week there seems to be, but there's a lot of plays where he's making the play under pressure. That's huge, because you don't see that with every quarterback, so you don't know if they're ever going to be able to play under pressure, or the speed of the NFL. And then the other thing I like about him is that he doesn't need wide open guys. Like, he's throwing, if you look at his film, Mendoza's throwing passes to NFL open guys, not college open guys. They don't have 2 steps. They have a half a step, and he's throwing them open. And again, no guarantees, no guarantees. But to me, that Mendoza has the most evidence and indicators, to me, in my opinion, that he could adjust and be an NFL quarterback.
I respect that. I think Johnny Boy's angle was more so, what does that mean about this class? The fact that Will
Disappointing.
Howard, well, no, the fact that Will Howard would be up there. But I'm asking you, do you even agree he would be up there?
I don't think so. I mean, not in my mind. I don't think I don't think he would have been drafted any higher. I think teams will just not draft a quarterback if it's not like they're not going to magically say this is a 6th-round talent and just move him up to the 2nd round just because.
Yeah.
Like, I
And
just
Will
don't think
Howard
they do that.
He had a good playoffs too, and that's another thing. Like, if someone else pops in the playoffs this year, be hesitant to thrust them into the top of your, you know what I mean? It should be like Jeremy's saying, the body of work, the all 22, the fact that Mendoza does get to his 3rd read, his 4th read, you know, that's one thing the Jets have not had, you know.
We need a pocket
Zach,
passer, man.
dude,
Pocket passer.
can you get to a 3rd read? Can you just give me the M3 Apple processor? Like, give me the guy that can read the field. I don't care if he can't throw it 70 yards or run it 4-4.
You want to hear something crazy? I mean, I'm alone.
Yeah.
No, well, Tony the GM is with me on this for sure. I might be the only one alive other than him, than this one guy, this one dude that loves him. If you told me, Jeremy, who's your number 2 quarterback, and I wouldn't use a top 5 pick on him, I would trade back, get a huge trade,
Right.
Paul, and that
just the pecking order.
And I grab him in the 2nd or 3rd round is Drew Aller. He's my number 2. There's no one I like better. It's Mendoza and Drew Aller. I wouldn't take Morris Simpson. I wouldn't take any of these guys over Drew Aller. And I know
Not
that
Sellers.
Drew Aller has problems, dude. There's concern.
Yeah.
He doesn't he has trouble with the easy plays, trouble with easy passes. But what I like about him is he has incredible NFL level throws. Like, he has a cannon, like a Josh Allen type arm. He has a cannon for an arm. And he throws different speeds. I've seen him drop it in with finesse, with touch. I've seen him fire it in when he has to. I've seen him make plays that are just, you want to roll over and just, you know what? I forgot about Klubnik. I really like, I like Klubnik. I don't love him anymore, Scott, watching him this year, because he's not consistent enough, but he hasn't totally fallen off. I could see Klubnik as a 2nd round, 3rd round pick, 2nd round pick. Sure. I don't think Klubnik fell so far that he's not draftable. I think there's still the plays that he makes are still there. But Drew Aller still has there's bad tape, but there's also a lot of really good tape. So again, I wouldn't use a top 5 pick on him. But if we didn't get Mendoza and we couldn't get a guy, and we instead trade, so we don't take him, let's say we have the 3rd pick or the 2nd pick, Mendoza goes off the board, we trade back to 15 or whatever it is, so some sucker can take Dante Moore. That's how I see it. We get a great freaking haul, and then somewhere in the 2nd, 3rd round, 2nd round, we take Drew Aller. I'm okay with that. And I know it's an unpopular opinion. And I'll say, rather than debate and argue with people over it, let's wait 5 years and see. Like in
Yeah.
3 years from now, or 2 years from now, 3 years, 4 years from now, eventually one day we're gonna know. Right? So and we'll know. And if I'm wrong, I'll say I was wrong. I have no problem being wrong about quarterback because everybody's wrong about quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, so who cares?
I do.
You know.
And some of these guys, their success rate will largely determine on where they land and with who. You know, like it is so, like you said, an inexact science.
Yes, Lawrence season is over. By the way, someone's asking the same guy. Yes, Drew Aller's season's over. That's why I'm saying he might be a guy you can get in the 3rd round, even maybe 4th round. I mean, like, I don't know how far he could fall down. You know,
maybe he's the 2nd quarterback we choose.
Like, no, yeah, right. He might be the 2nd quarterback we choose, like an insurance policy, like an extra dart throw. You know, just
yes.
I mean, who knows? But
don't say dart. Don't say dart around here, man.
And I know that you may have saw one play from Mendoza and it was a bad throw, but that's why we watch film and we watch more than one play. Because
that's the key, though.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I could. There's no prospect in history that, you know, with college football, if you watch their film, you know, you happen to see a bad play. Okay, I hope you don't judge a prospect on one play, because I'll show you a lot of plays from Mendoza that are very good plays. You know,
as we were talking earlier, Jeremy, Jaden Daniels got hurt again.
Yeah,
he left with his arm in like this black casty sling thingy.
I think and this is not an attack on a guy who got hurt for getting hurt, but even the way he's been playing and the way Washington is playing, I think everybody jumped on the bus of Washington, turn around. Why can't we be like Washington? They didn't do it. They didn't do anything. No, they made the playoffs. No. Did they win in the playoffs? Did they go far? Did they go to the Super Bowl? And now where are they? I mean, so like before we can't just start handing out golden ticket like the Washington has a lot more to prove to know if they really turn this around.
Like Houston. I mean, Stroud looked shitty his sophomore year.
It's terrible. And they as a team have been very questionable. Houston, they're very average.
They, I believe they had 15 points today. Do you know who scored those 15, Jeremy?
The field goal kicker?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, so like I'm saying is I think we jumped too fast on the whole, oh my God, this team's amazing. Why can't we just do it? It's never us. Why can't we do what they did? They had a good year last year, Washington. It's not looking so good this year. Does anyone know for sure they're going to be good next year? I don't know what Washington will be next year. So,
Correct. And Scott's right. There were a lot of people in Washington's corner last year, but he was one this offseason that said, I'm not sure I believe they'll do that again. And I'll give him credit for that. But Chaos is still right, too. Like, there were a lot of people that jumped that gun. And
they were using them as examples. Oh, we're using the same consulting firm that turns around Washington. We were anointing them in a turned around organization from 1 year.
If you want to crown them, then crown their asses.
We've had good years. We've had good years in 2009, 2010. But our organization, but it's more than just having a good year.
Right.
Actually, our organization was pretty good around that time. But what I'm saying is, we've seen teams pop up with good years and then fade. And Jacksonville, like 6-7 years ago, they went to a AFC Championship game and then they fell apart. And they fell apart in 2 years and got Trevor Lawrence for going 1-15.
Yeah, and
like 3 years after a championship game.
I'm not a T-Law guy, or a Stroud guy, or
T-Law hasn't worked out.
I do like Jaden Daniels. I don't like Stroud or Lawrence. But guys, we've been here for an hour and 45 minutes. Jeremy, I didn't even mean to go this long. I wanted to ask you, can you make it 2 and we'll close at 2? You got 15 minutes, or is that too much?
Oh, we can get to 2 hours. Yeah. We'll do a 2 hours.
All right.
Because as long as we're still talking about football and the chat is still having a good time.
Good. I like that, man. And we have a 15 solid man group right now talking ball. I have a couple of things to hit that we were mentioning earlier and we got sidetracked. I asked Wyatt, did he ever brand? And has he broken any Mustangs? He says he used to brand bulls for hours,
I'm
but they
breaking.
became steers when we were done. Our brand was a NP. I guess that was what it looked like, NP. And he said he's broken a lot of horses. He's breaking 3 right now. What do you think of that, Jeremy?
Telling you, real cowboy. That's a real cowboy. Like that's no
That is.
joke. It is no joke. It's like what
Yep.
you see in the movies and on TV. Like he does it.
Dude,
Like,
the thought of breaking a horse right now just makes my back hurt so bad.
I mean, like where he's from, it's how you dress and who you are. If he comes to New York on October 31st, it's a costume.
Yeah.
You go trick or treating. I'm a cowboy. You get extra candy because you're in character.
You know what? Stranger, our resident Bengals fan, chimes in. He
Bengals.
says he's never branded, but he's had it. He has. I've had my arm shoulder deep in a cow's ass checking for pregnancy.
Mm.
Even wearing an arm condom, it's about as pleasant as you imagine. You know what? I think I've seen that in a reality show.
I was going to ask if you
not
watched. I was going to ask if you watched the movie Tommy Boy too many times.
Tommy Boy. That's a very good or what about Always Sunny whenever Danny DeVito's climbing out of that couch or whatever? Oh, that's another one.
Yeah.
Anyways, dude, I can't believe Washington shit the bed like that tonight. I mean, I can, but I can't. What do you think? Like, because you know what the take's going to be. Darnold. There's already MVP Darnold talk. How about let me ask you that? Is that justified? Like, I know it's justified, but is it like possible? Like, do you think it's realistic, or do you think that it's more so just a pipe dream?
I think he's got to win the big games at the end of the year in the playoff crunch, right? Like, but look, everybody said, "Oh, it's just Minnesota. It's the guru. It's this or that." And this year, he's proven Sam Darnold's a good quarterback, like a really good quarterback. He just needed the right coaching, the right situation. He was good for us. He wasn't as bad as people think he was. He got mono, and that's another thing we don't think about. It's like read a medical book. It takes a year and a half, 2 years to get over mono sometimes. He was sick. Like he was good before that. He had some good games with us. He was young. He was developing. And it was terrible roster. He had no one on the roster. Then he goes to Carolina. McCarthy gets injured. So again, he's stuck with no one. He was in a terrible situation for a long time. He finally went to a place. He went to San Francisco, probably learned some things there. Then he goes to Minnesota, quarterback guru, great offensive players around him, great receivers. And then now he's got the confidence. He's not seeing ghosts anymore. He's caught up to the speed of the game. He goes to Seattle, and he's doing well because he's adjusted to the speed of the game, right? And it just shows you that we got to be more patient. And there was a day when I was a kid, they were more patient with quarterbacks. No one expected them to be good the first 2 years. It's like the expectations have gotten ridiculous. You want them to just come in year one and be good. It's a different freaking game when you come to the NFL.
That's actually why a lot of the contract stuff changed, because you used to have to pay them so much money and they would sit for half of the contract.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like Sam Bradford, I think, was one of the last guys to get a bag, but like then it changed. But like before that, man, it'd be year 3 and you would just now be starting and you've already been paid 20 some million dollars. Crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it was, but a couple of people break the trend and they're good right away, and then all of a sudden that becomes the expectation, and it's the only way that you're not a bust if you're good right away, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm not gonna lie, I was down on I take Zach Wilson, get rid of Darnold, and I regret it. But also I didn't look at film back then or anything like that, so maybe I would have thought differently if I had a different perspective,
Right. And yeah, I don't know. It's tough, man. Like you said, it's an inexact science. You just kind of gotta hope that, and that's why, like, okay, we all know It's very precarious. Like, you can't just assume a guy's going to work out. So that's why I'm like, take multiple bites of the apple. Take a first and a fourth. Take a first and a second next year. Or, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I've said
you know
it.
how challenging it is to
I've-
succeed in New York? Take 2 chances.
I've said it. I've said we should do it every year. Like, just keep bringing them in until we find one. Like in other words, we're going to be stuck in this phantom zone or whatever you want to call it, or what the shit, until we get one. So just keep taking them until we get one. Worry about all the positions and everything else later. Just get one. We have an offensive line. Now get me a quarterback so we can keep them alive now. Now get me a freaking quarterback. I don't care if the defense sucks. Just draft a quarterback and all offense to put and invest everything you have in coaching to get the best veteran quarterback coach out there. Do everything it takes. Be Cincinnati for a year or two. Like, give up 35 points a game. I don't care. Just build an offense that scores points. And then once we get that young offense built up with that quarterback, then every draft will focus on defense and we'll focus on fixing the defense.
I'm with you. I am with you. Keep some core guys for now. Like I said, if you do hit a quarterback, he's cheap for the rest of the decade. He's cheap, man. We're at 2025, man. If we draft a home run quarterback, we don't owe them money till 2030. You can extend whoever the fuck you want right now. That's all I'm saying. What you can't do is pay a Tua $50 million to come and play here. You can't pay a Stafford or a Goff or whoever becomes available. Just keep drafting them, like Jeremy said. Draft them. Harlan chimes in. He says George Blanda couldn't get into a game until his 6th season, he thinks.
Wow. Well, Harlan was around, so.
Yeah. I was not. I'm sorry. I know. I hate to break it to you guys. I was not.
But look, I mean, it's ridiculous that, that we don't give time. We don't, and you got to obviously see some evidence, right? You got to see some evidence you got to see a spark. Like, you got to have some hope. They got to see them do some things to give you that hope and that spark. I got to tell you, I don't know if people remember, Geno Smith had the spark. Geno Smith, when he was here, when we drafted him, he had I think he led the NFL for comebacks in the fourth quarter or something like that. Like, he had some really impressive stat. He was really good in the fourth quarter. Like, he showed all kinds of promise. Again, another guy has 2 years gone. With him, it may have been the broken jaw and that whole thing. They wanted to get that taste out of their mouth, but but still, it's like, not that he turned out to be great, but I'm just saying he was better than we gave him credit for. And I don't know that it had to take so many years for him to develop. Like, I think it's because he was never given a full chance, right, or an opportunity. But man, can we just give a quarterback a chance? And it's hard because I understand because I'm just as impatient as everyone else. We've waited so long that we're impatient. But Sam Darnold should be our quarterback now. Can you imagine if we would have we could have made that trade with San Francisco. We could have given them the number 2 pick, and we would have had their top 3 picks for the next 3 years, and we could have had all those second-round picks. And with the Jamal Adams trade, we would have had just loaded with picks. Can you imagine what we could have done?
No, I can't, Jeremy, because we always do the wrong shit.
It's true. It's true.
Scott Foster chimes in. He says, "Hey, I hear Hendon Hooker is available." I think that's a joke, but
he knows
Tony.
Tony, the GM, would come on my show. People don't understand this. They always associate me with everything that he liked. I was the host. I had a guy who was supposedly the quarterback expert. Maybe he is, or maybe he's not. Right? I did a show where he would come in. I can't have him come in. The show wasn't me disagreeing with him and antagonizing him. The show was letting him be an expert, and basically it was like a character thing. He was this guy, and I'm this guy confused, and he's telling me what to look at, and he's teaching me how to.
You were the host. You were the host.
He was teaching me how to evaluate a quarterback. That was the theme of the show. He would show me what to do. And now everybody is thinking, Jeremy hates Bo Nixon, said he couldn't be a quarterback. Jeremy loves this guy. Jeremy loved Herndon Hooker. No, Jeremy was the host of a show with a guy, a partner, who's the quarterback expert, and that's who he loved and everything. And I was the guy who did my job and went along with the theme of the show and treated him like the expert. So I wasn't going to question or disagree with him, and I never did. But I never said that Herndon Hooker was great. And the the day that Herndon Hooker was the day that Detroit went out and got Bridgewater to be their backup for the playoffs, I said, oh, obviously Herndon Hooker's not very good, because they didn't trust him to be the backup, So I don't know if he's joking that for Tony the GM or it's a shot at me, but I never, I never proclaimed I never proclaimed to be an expert on any of these guys. I was a host with a quarterback guy.
I think that was just a happy accident. I don't know how happy that was, but as Scott reiterates here, he was referring to a certain teenage content creator. But someone else was.
Oh,
yeah, apparently
okay.
wanted us to trade for him.
So the mistake that I think anybody would ever make is guaranteeing that a quarterback is going to be great. Like even Mendoza, I'm saying I love Mendoza. He might be a bust, right? I'm saying I don't like Dante Moore. He might be a Hall of Famer. I'm saying it. I'm saying it because every NFL team gets it wrong from occasion, right? Like it's just, there's no way. If there was a way, if anybody knew 100%, if anyone was 100% accurate, they would be working for an NFL team.
Dude, Sellers could be Lamar Jackson or he could be Quincy Carter.
Right. I mean, how many quarterbacks actually work out? Every year we have so many quarterbacks that we all fight over and love. How many actually become franchise quarterbacks? How many become top 5 quarterbacks that you believe could, that for 10, 15 years, give you a chance to be a competitor to win Super Bowls? It's like very few, right? So it's just the mistake people make is they act like they know. Like they're saying, oh, I know. All we could do is guess. So
correct.
My favorite in this draft class is Mendoza. That's my guess. That's the guy I see the most in that makes me think, oh, I think he could be good. But it won't be surprising if Mendoza came out and was a bust. It wouldn't be a surprise because 50% of them end up being a bust. So, I mean, like 100%. Nobody knows.
JT chimes in. He says, preach, Jeremy, you're onto something. None of us know. He said draft picks are dart throws. Scott Foster chimes in. He says most quarterbacks don't work out, and most quarterbacks are overdrafted
because of the position.
Yeah,
because everybody wants a quarterback so bad, right?
Correct.
That they will use a top 5 pick to make sure they get the guy they think is the best guy, but he's rarely the best football player, in that draft.
Right. And you see guys in the second round, work out. I think a lot of it has to do with coaching and the way you bring them along, their skill set. There's just a lot of things, man. So it'll be interesting. We are just crossing into 2 hours. So I do want to give you the floor for final thoughts, Jeremy. Before I do, I just want to remind everyone around here, I believe it's $3.99 unless you're on an iPhone. If you're on an iPhone, it might be $4.99. But if you're on a computer or, the cool things, as the boomers say, Windows computers, $3.99, become a member, hop into Discord, have some fun with us. You can be a part of something that I have no idea how far it will go. But for now, we're just having fun, man. Like the size of this channel, like the group of people. So it doesn't need to go too far past this. I like you, Jeremy. I like Murph on Fridays, and the chat we have mostly both days. They're A1. Dude, we just did 2 hours and it felt like 40 minutes. Appreciate that, dude. On a week where we don't have a game to react to, that's saying a lot. We have we have no intro yet. We're getting there. We have a background. We have thumbnails, but you know what? Let me know in Discord or in the chat if you have an idea what you want the intro to consist of. Let us know. But yeah, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, become a member. $3.99. Hop into something called a Discord. It's like a group chat. It's like down there, but it's 24/7. Hop over to Jets Chaos on YouTube, please. Subscribe at minimum, man. He is that close to 5,000 subscribers. I checked today. He has over 300,000 views. Okay. So he is not an idiot. He knows what he's talking about. He's been around since COVID, pretty much, making content longer than that, probably with others, but on his own that long. 300,000.
That's
So
wild.
yeah,
That's
check
wild.
him out at Jets Chaos YouTube. Go to Twitter. Create a Twitter specifically to go to at Jets Chaos and follow him there, man. Dude, because again, support the people that you want to feel like they should continue doing what they do. That's where I'm at in the content game. I support people. I think Mo's the same way. I support people who I want to continue their journey. Jeremy, you're one for me. Continue doing what you do. Appreciate you, brother. But episode number 2, we're closing out. We're putting a bow on it. We've already spiked the like. We've already subscribed to Jets Chaos, all that jazz. Now we're going to sit back and listen to Jeremy Jets Chaos's final thoughts heading into the trade deadline. The one off week of the Jets, and then it's bam, full bore, 9 more games, something like that. I'm not doing the math. 9 more games. Then it's no more football. This is our one time to take a beat. So, with that being said, where are you at with it?
I think that we are in a rebuild, and I think it sucks. We're back to the bottom. That hope of being competitive is not a reality right now. I do think that, unlike in 2020, I do think that we have some core players. I do think that we have some talent, and I do think we have it in positions that are very important and not always easy to fill. Our tackles, an edge, a cornerback. We don't have the superstar edge, though. I will give everybody that. We don't have the superstar edge. We don't have. It doesn't even have to be an edge. Sometimes it's a linebacker. Sometimes it's even a safety. We don't have the game disruptor defensive player. We don't remember for Pittsburgh, it was Troy. Right, it was a safety. I mean, but we don't have that guy, right? We need that guy. But I expect we might say goodbye to some players that aren't part of the future plans. And even if it's a player I didn't think was going to get traded, like a JJ, if he does, it's because they didn't see him as part of the future. Because that's what they're thinking now. Any trade you see, I expect it to be draft picks. I think it's like future. They are rebuilding this roster. It sucks. It's terrible to say. I will insist and say it a million times till I'm blue in the face. None of it means anything if we don't get the quarterback right. We just went through it. We got it wrong with Zach Wilson, and you saw what happened. You can't miss on quarterback. We missed. Sam Darnold we gave up on too soon. Sanchez was good enough to be a game manager for a team that had the best defense and best running game in football, but we've never had a quarterback to say, get on my shoulders, let me carry you. That's what this team needs. We need to find the quarterback. And, that's I just hope that they do smart things for the future. That's what I want to see, moves that can help us rebuild this team and hopefully get this turned around as quickly as possible because I'm tired of suffering. And I want to get this channel to 1,000 subscribers. It deserves to be over 1,000. And then onward to 2,000 and 3,000 and so on. There is no reason. I know that your goal is to provide really good content for the people who appreciate it. And it's not the most important thing. We could sit at 900 subscribers forever, and you'd be totally happy as long as it's good people. But also at the same time, Why should there be people out there with 15,000 subscribers and not you? I don't understand why not. You do great work. You put out, you know what I mean? And you there's no reason that you shouldn't be. So
My
I
boyish,
hope
my
I can be
boyish
part of
good
that.
looks. You know, my boyish.
We're not
My
gonna
my.
we're not gonna do it with our good looks. We're gonna have
I
to
got
really
you.
we're gonna have to get better and better with our shows, better with our content,
Yeah.
better with our takes, be
Intro.
really well informed, give good information to people. I mean, we're not gonna do it because people say, "Oh, I have to go look at them for 2 hours."
Yes, and we'll have, like I said, it's a journey. It really is, man. If you go back and like, I've been doing this for a paltry year and a half now compared to you, Chaos, but a year and a half. If you go back a year ago, man, and look at one of my streams, the webcam, the mic, the aesthetic, the wallpaper, the thumbnail, and you look at one today, I would hope that you'd say, "Wow, that's night and day." And that's because I am trying to get better. You know, there are people around here where you go back a year and it's like the same thing. Same thumbnail style, same webcam, same mic, same take. Like, any super chat I get, any monetary gain at all, it's gonna go right back here. Like, I'm not just gonna go to McDonald's. I know those double cheeseburgers are good. You mentioned them earlier, Chaos. Um, I'm gonna just put it into this, man. Let's keep going, man. I want to have a decent show where people have fun, and Friday nights, Sunday nights, maybe where there always isn't a butt ton of content, because I was out of work for a year and I was looking for a place like this every night of the week, and there was like 3 or 4 nights a week where there wasn't one. So you're helping me do that on Sunday nights. Murph's helping me do it on Friday nights. Let's keep it going. Keep getting better. Check out the thumbnails, the quality a year from now, and compare it to now. And hopefully we can all say it's just getting better and better. And maybe my takes aren't, but the rest of it will be. Appreciate you, Jeremy. You know what? I do have to ask you real quick. I know it's been a while. We've 2 hours, 8 minutes at Cleveland. We're going to be, or I'm sorry, Cleveland's coming in. We're going to be past it real quick. Prediction?
Oh, I think that it's a winnable game because their offense is really bad, just like ours, right? And if a turnover could be the decider of this game, special teams could be the decider of this game. Just Myles Garrett's going to get his sacks. Just don't fumble the ball, Justin Fields. Don't let them get points off of it. Just protect the football, and he's been doing that, right? He hasn't been throwing picks. Protect the football. We've stayed around in most of our games. We linger. That's what you got to do. Just linger. Stay around. Maybe Justin breaks one with his legs, and takes off. Maybe we get the lucky turnover. Just stay in the game. This team has, just like Cincinnati had a glaring weakness in their defense, this team has a glaring weakness in their offense. They have a young quarterback that we might be able to take advantage of. So that's what it is. We have a chance to win. I don't really expect to win games right now. Again, we just started the rebuild. We're tearing it down and building it up. And but if they do win, it's just good for the psyche. It's good for the coach, and that's how I feel about it.
I think it's a coin flip game, especially being in our building too. Like, stop Quinshawn Judkins and you'll win. Don't let him pop. Malachi Moore, the onus is on you, bro. You can't have a missed tackle like you did last week. Next week, you can't. Get better. Everyone on this roster, like, second youngest team in the league, second youngest. Can you get better than you were last week? That is the goal. You're right, Jeremy. It's not winning games right now. It's being better than you were the week before.
Yeah.
Better in this scheme, better individually, better as a whole, better as a collective, however you want to pin a rose on that. Be better, and then let the chips fall where they may. We just want good football. As Scott says in the chat, the Jets offense has shown more life than the Browns offense. But
we got to go against the Browns defense, and we haven't
true.
We have not looked good against good defense.
100%.
Their offense has no life. He's right. So it's going to be a close game. I could see it being a really low-scoring, ugly, sloppy game with a lot of punting. You know, I could see that kind of game. But
hey,
you know, sometimes
McNamara's good.
Yeah, Matt, we might win because we have the better punter. Who knows? Yeah, and then I could be totally wrong, and it's 43-40 because you just never know.
You never know. Build on that one win. You went home and now you're devising game plans and shit, dude. Come out of a bye better than Salah did, please.
Yeah,
because Salah was terrible.
Just don't come out sucky.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't come out sucky and flat and just get. Let's just not get blown out the first 20 minutes of the first half, like be down 17-3 or something. Please, come in ready to play.
Hey, Jeremy. Good night, brother.
All right, brother. Take care.
Yep.
And thank you everybody for watching.
Chat. Appreciate you. Peace.
I love the show. I love you guys. Fucking, let's go Jets. Jets, Jets. Can't all be beautiful.
Put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride.
You're in the danger zone.
Totally, back row.